take us through the process of creating a finding aid?
So after you've arranged the materials, which again is the act of going through, foldering, weeding, arranging to a certain degree, we try to respect the order in which things come because that order was created by the person or the organization that made the records. And the idea that the historian, the researcher, whoever can also learn something about the way that these organizations or people arrange their own records, why they put these things with these things, why this goes with this. And that can give you some insight, especially for organizational records, because a lot of times it lets you see sort of the organic creation of the records, like how these departments work together, how they function together or not, like what things, there's a lot that can be shown by that because it can really show you that organizational structure in a way that you wouldn't see if we aggressively intervened. That being said, sometimes we have to. I've processed boxes where literally, like Laura said, it's a box where I opened up a box once in a job many, many years ago where the box just said so-and-so's desk. And I opened it up and it seriously looked like they took the drawer out and just dumped it in the box. Like there was nothing. There was no folders, there was no order. And that's one of those times where then you have to say, okay, I'm gonna have to try to substitute my best judgment here and figure out what's really in here. But sometimes that's also why you'll see a folder that says something really non-helpful like miscellaneous, because we just don't know what it is or where it's supposed to go. And we also don't really want to get rid of it unless we're really sure, again, that it meets certain criteria for weeding from the collection. So once you've arranged it, then you move to the description part, which is the writing of the finding aid. The easiest part to a certain degree is kind of the longest part, which is the container list. And the container list is that list that says box, folder, and your folder titles on there. Once you process it, then you also start doing the research to fill in the gaps, what you did not learn from actually going through the materials. So you study up on the organization, you read about them. Sometimes you interview people, the people that donated the collection, the people that work at the organization about what's in the collection, what their mission is, how these things have changed over time. And that's when you write the front matter, which are the things like the historical and biographical note. So for a person, it's like biographical. For an organization, it's historical. You do the scope and content notes. You do, and again, these are sort of the nitty gritty, what's in it. Especially important is the range of dates, because as we were just saying, right, people, especially organizations, will a lot of times discard things. So we'll get the archive and it won't be complete. And because we get what we get. Like, so if they went through a big records management purge where somebody just decided they were throwing out everything in their office, they weeded their files extensively, then there's going to be gaps. So if you know you're only looking for something really specific in an archival collection that you know happened in certain years, and if we put the range of dates and you see it's not in there, then that's a clue to the researcher that says, you know what, there might be stuff in there about it, but if they don't really have the records that pertain to those years, maybe I'll back burner that and try to look at some other things first. So the finding aid is constructed purely as a tool to tell researchers of all levels, from beginner researchers up to your PhDs and beyond, what is in the collection so that you can then find what you need. That is the purpose of the finding aid, is to facilitate access, to give the researchers the most information that we can give them about what's in the collection. So, and then you massage it all together, and then you put it up online. And for us, we also, the last part of the finding aid, assuming we digitize the materials, is we link the digital objects in the finding aid. So if we've digitized a folder, you'll see the folder title, and then right below it, there'll be a little link that says, click here to look at this folder. And then you can scroll through the contents of the entire folder. And we photograph everything in a folder, including blank pages, including the other sides of documents, if it's applicable. Both the recto and the verso photographs, and the folder itself, usually. We photograph the folder. So this way, when you're citing this material, you will know what box, what folder it came from. So, and that is how you write a finding.